I wish I hadn't come to this. I really wish I hadn't come to me going back on the air like this. This is not right. This is 4:55 in the afternoon on a Saturday, May 15th, 2021, Weaver, John C., Roseman, California. I can't tell you how many people I have lost regarding politics. Strong opinions and strong egos have a way of tearing apart people left and right. Where disrespect and breakups become a commonplace. I speak from experience. I don't speak from pure wisdom, but only what I've gone through and also what I've been hearing left and right on social media. Well, hearing on that shit, reading on the damn stuff. When someone puts up a political viewpoint, it is Bloodbath 101. You just threw chum in the water. Unless you're ready to agree to disagree and argue gently with facts and able to discuss the commonalities, try to see some saneness here. Unless you're ready to go that far, you're really into the gladiator games at this point over here. It makes the Coliseum look like it's a sandbox. But then again, we are dealing with a sandbox situation that turns into gladiator games and is bloody as hell. Verbal jousting is just as damaging and deadly as physical jousting, in my book. If you have command of a language and you are using the language to the best of your ability, and the other person has an understanding of that language, and they are countering you left and right with their own versions of facts and figures, it becomes polarizing. Because if there's no stopping it, there's no stopping in all of it. There's just the political muckraking, the division and derision that continues on and on and on. As I said before, I've lost too many dear friends. One is too many for me in my book. Way too many. I've lost family members over this. I've blocked. I've been blocked. Except when I see sharing and I don't get feedback. Family members who I've seen and been with for decades avoid me like the plague because of the strong, egocentric, and fact driven opinion basis I've got. My own personality trying to become the more dominant bastard around. If I've got facts and figures to counter your particular idea, the snarky remarks are just snarky remarks. As long as I can prove my case in a debate, I will win. Not only because my ego drives it, my ego wills it, my ego above your ego. To push the cliches further on, I'll throw the damn things out in the first place anyway because it's the pokes and prodding to keep the ego and the lions to entertain the folks around you. And how many more people are going to be cheering you on in this coliseum of words and nearly deeds? How many are cheering for the lions and how many cheering are for the poor people with just barely a stick to keep the lions away? And whose viewpoint is the lion and whose viewpoint is the person with the wooden stick? But even a wooden stick, if used properly, can injure. If used properly, if you know how to use the damn thing. You can't go into a battle unless you've already got some skill sets ready to go. especially when you're dealing with political agendas and dealing with political arena and you're dealing with a war of words. It's not exactly the command of the language that you speak, it's also the command of the facts and figures in front of you, or able to research it and able to use it in the verbal joust. Some people can use it as short swords, and other people can use it as nuclear weapons on it. The command of a language, the command of facts with the language, the command of logic and of reasoning, theoretically supposed to be ruling out unless someone gets emotional and then gets the opponent off base because the other person is exposed, allowing the emotion to rule the day instead of the head. And even then, if you still can't get the point across, it's back to Sandbox brawl again, isn't it? You're going to be using your relatives, both dead and alive, to throw it at people. You're going to be throwing out your dead cat, your dead puppy. You're going to be throwing out the verbal jaunt that one of the relatives or friends is in a condition that's unresolvable, that they have to be constantly used as an insult to be thrown out, worse than any of speed traps you've seen these days. Those lovely spikes that prevent a pursuit from going on. You gotta love the nice, lovely cliches in the words to be used. But driving behind that is ego. I know. I use it constantly. I use it constantly. My ego to rule over anybody else because I think I know I'm right. And the truth of the matter is, if there is no humble and humility in it, if there's no acceptance, if there is no acknowledgement that there is common ground, there is a gray area to be navigated, if there are little viewpoints that are able to be agreed with, then what the hell are we doing? We're playing Sandbox all over again. My pile of sand better than your pile of sand. And if you don't like it, I'm going to smash yours. How do you like them apples? Oh, you're going to hit me with your fist, make me a bloody nose, and therefore I put blood in it? You just struck first blood. So now I'm going to hit you back. We don't have civilized debates. We have sandbox debates. The sand flies all over the damn place. The fists are flying. The feet are flying. The headbutting happens. Until you have the two combatants at both sides panting for breath. That's end of round one. What's round two? Do we have to have a teacher to come in there and knock some sense to put us into the classrooms where we have the right standards from all the way up until 5 or 6 o'clock at night? Or we're going to be going back at it again to make sure we got the point across? Or are we going to be getting a group of friends to go challenge? When it comes down for political muckrankering, even the hollow halls, they're supposed to be the civilization of our capital. It's supposed to be the creme de la creme. But it wasn't made to creme la creme. It's made to be a big, huge sandbox where people have to argue their case left and right and find a way to get along and parcel out the sand particles. Otherwise, it's still bloody mess in there. Now, the verbal jousting is what democracy is all about. Two heated sides, two polar opposites, and they both have to find a compromise somewhere and declare victory on both sides. But in our day these days, that's not happening. We must be right. We have an ego that demands it. We have our own pride, our own arrogance that demands that we are right and you are wrong. If I say I'm wrong, I know I'm wrong. If I am wrong, I will say it. I know circular logic, though, but it still works for me anyway. If I screwed up, I have to admit I screwed up. I have to admit. I have to submit. I have to be humbled. I have to be humiliated. I have to show that I understand what the stakes are all about, and I understand what the mistake was all about. And I'm trying to understand what the point was all about. The other side, the victor, well, they've got a choice to either gloat or lower themselves with humility and humbleness and say, yeah, but we can still fix this, can't we? No, not in our case. We need to get the sledgehammer out and we need to beat the shit out of the loser. Because we're right and you're wrong and deal with it. That's Sandbox. That's what it's becoming more and more prevalent these days. We have a president currently in office. I will dare say his name, President Joe Biden. Still trying to clean up the mess that's been made over the past 4 years. Hell, it's been there a hell of a lot longer and in different forms, but it's been there. He may look, and I may have to agree, that he looks and acts like a doddering old grandpa. That's why he has a young vice president to give him that energy, that strength, and that crutch. And to say this, I know, shows him as weak. But his strength of character isn't weak. Neither is his spirit. And we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. But you'll scream what happened to number 45. Because there was evidence out there that was presented and crapped on all over the damn place. And argued up a storm that it didn't exist. Of foreign interference. And we've got laws against that. But it was overlooked. We had a Capitol insurrection happening on January 6th. There was supposed to be the official tallying up each state's ballots, each election results that had been certified by each state's legal teams, election officials, state governor. They have processes. And they're bringing that information over to the Capitol. And every state is supposed to present it to the current presiding at the time, Senate President, which was Mike Pence. And after he signed off, or supposedly signed off, he was supposed to say, okay, that's it. The people have spoken, and we will have an inauguration. No, we didn't. We had people who still couldn't understand it and still argued with it. And therefore, they had to cause mayhem. We got it on tape, so to speak. We cannot deny facts like this. We cannot deny the political arena and the political agendas going on right now. Especially when states are still arguing about it. That it was rigged, it was false. And every step was watched. And watched carefully. And monitored. And certified. And still people keep saying, no, it's wrong. When presented facts, you either accept the damn thing or try to prove the facts are wrong. And if you cannot prove the facts are wrong, then it's basically opinion. There is no middle ground on this. When someone posts political agendas or political statements saying that this particular political candidate is weak one because now we've got the people coming over here. Look at it a different way altogether. A meme that presents our competitors, our adversaries coming for us, and we're supposed to be frightened about that damn thing? The wolves and bears are coming towards us. Oh my God, what do we do? Lions and tigers and bears, oh my, we do a Dorothy? Or do we grit our teeth and say, bring it on, asshole? That should have been the correct political response right there. But no, the cowardly way was, yes, you're right. We got him coming over here. If we didn't have this right president over here, it should have been this guy, not this guy. It should have been this one, not this one. Now we got to listen to fear mongering. Now we got to listen to opinions like crazy instead of facts and figures. And here's where the political sands run blood red. Because now we have to have bloody noses in the sandbox. Because now we got to punch each other in the face to prove who was right and who was wrong. There is no philosophical debate. We have to bloody each other's nose. The verbal joustings have to be as bloodier than a Colosseum fight with Roman short swords. That's what people expect. There's nothing concerning about civilization. There's nothing concerning about civilized debate. Agree to disagree. If there is a point of view, if there is a gray area, we have extremism running on both sides at this point over here. One side or the other. Personally, I would prefer taking the whole damn sandbox and flipping it on both assholes and say, now count your damn sands, you assholes. Bring it on to me. I'm the guy stuck in the middle that you're fighting in between. I'm getting sick and tired of you boozers. Yeah, I did say the word boozers. Because even if one is not, quote unquote, drinking the grain alcohol of different sorts, you're still drinking. You're drinking into hostility. You're drinking into hate. You're drinking into. You're feeding your own damn worst demon inside. So can we not get along with each other at this point over here? Can we not agree to disagree? Can we not understand that there is a gray area? There's a common area over here for us to try to understand. And if we cannot understand this damn thing, well, I guess maybe the sandbox does need to be turned over with you two idiots in it. I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying at this point over here. You can comment or not comment. You can like or dislike. You can flip me off if you want. But I'm telling you, this is how it is. If you're not seeing this, step into the sandbox. Let's turn the blood ready.